So let's get to the lines, man. 7289. Who that?
Hey, Rooks, what's going on, man? It's Tom, Fly Academic. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? You know what? I'm glad you called, man. I'm glad we're having this interview, and it was time for me to do it. I know you for a very long time. By the way,
Very long time, man. Yeah. I think the first time I was on here was about 5 years ago.
It was about 5 years ago. And then it's funny, right? I know him for a long time, and we cool with each other. We never seen each other. We like social media friends. You know what I'm saying? We just stay in touch. That's crazy,
yeah,
isn't it?
This is the modern era, man. I feel like, I have about as many friends and contacts online who, I've never met in person as I do actual, real life friends who I hang out with. So this is just 2014, man. It's the way it is now. Internet friends can be some of your best friends.
You know what I'm saying? Seriously. So then, let's get down to business, man. So what's the name? It's Fly Academy. That's what you call yourself, right?
No, it's actually, you're close. It's Fly Academic.
Sorry, Fly Academic. I apologize.
Yeah. No worries, man. It's relatively new. I used to be the TradeMark Experience, back in the day.
That's why I'm like, wait a minute, where did this name come from? You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, give me a minute, man. Let me jump to the question. So before you answering the question before I ask it, go ahead, man. Explain the name change for me.
Well, do you want the long version or the short version?
Of course, the short version. You know, but don't miss out the key points, though.
Of course not. No. I figure your listeners might appreciate the the brief version. No, basically, listen. I had a lot of fun as the TradeMark Experience. It was a really fun persona. It was a great character to play.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, look at the vocabulary I'm using: persona, character. It wasn't truly me. You know what I mean? It was sort of an extension of my personality at that time. I was doing the whole rock star from Mars on Tiger Blood long before Charlie Sheen made it cool. And it was a great character to play when I was, a younger man, when I was in my early 20s, fresh out of college, and I was just living that party animal lifestyle. But, as I got older, as I was moving away from that in my own personal life, I felt like for me to portray that kind of persona would be a little disingenuous. You feel me? So I made steps to I thought it would be cool to see, the TradeMark character kind of evolve and grow up with me. But, I don't know if people necessarily wanted that or if it was as successful as I wanted it to be. I'm really proud of the material that I was putting out, as TradeMark there towards the end, but it didn't feel like TradeMark anymore. For better or worse, I feel like TradeMark had a brand. He had an identity. He was a little bit goofy and silly and over the top, and those were things that I was ready to move away from, but I feel like maybe my audience or, the people who really enjoyed that character, they didn't want to see him grow up. They wanted to see him just be crazy and reckless until the end of time. And so I just figured it was time to start something fresh, something a little more mature, a little more in tune with, where I'm at in my life right now. So that's sort of where Fly Academic came from.
See, that's awesome. But you know what you just said? I'm probably one of the people that, now that I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh. So I was one of the people that was confused about that. It's just like, what's wrong with TradeMark? I liked him. You know what I mean?
There was nothing wrong with him, and I appreciate that. I really do, and I know there are a lot of people who that character really resonated with them. It's just, I was ready to try something different, and I feel like, I kind of took that persona as far as it was going to go. And now, that was then. It was a really cool time, and if you were there and you were a part of it, I thank you for your support, and we all had a lot of fun together. But it's time to move on to the next thing now. I was ready for something new.
So this is where we're getting down to business now. So everybody, he's still on YouTube as TradeMark. I think all those everything that you were doing before the 2 years where you was making your chance. Like I said, we've been social media for. I seen the 2 years process, and then sometime early this year, or late last year, it was like, boom, it changed. It really was kind of sudden. You know what I mean? You didn't.
Yeah,
There was no warning, really, nothing about it. Just the name done changed. It was that. But like I said,
really.
yes, it was. I mean, me not being, not really being, physical in touch with you. It was for me. You know what I mean? Because it was
No,
like,
no.
I just went online. And it was like, boom. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, like, boom.
absolutely. I'm in complete agreement with you. I really didn't prepare people for it so much in the fact that, I kind of let people know that I put out an album, this time last year. It was called The Revival, kind of an ironic title considering it was the last, Trademark album. But I told people up front, like, this is going to be my last project as Trademark. And I think people kind of interpreted that maybe as, oh, he's done with music. Whereas in my head all along it was like, no, I'm still going to make music. It's just that this particular chapter is coming to an end. You know what I mean?
That's what that was? I swear to God,
in my head,
confused.
I mean, I don't know how people interpreted that.
Well, that's how we took it. I thought you was done with music. You said you were done. You said you retired. That's
yeah,
what
I know.
thought.
I've retired and come out of retirement so many times. It's like a running gag at this point. No, but in all seriousness, like, I said that and I put out the Revival album, and I was very, for me that was good closure. It was sort of like going back to my real roots as Trademark, kind of doing that like backpack style hip hop, and the whole album was produced by my buddy from college, and that's where Trademark started. And he goes by Franz Kafka, by the way. He's, super talented, very, very close friend of mine. So it just felt like the right time to kind of put an end to it and, wrap it up in a bow and just say, okay, this is the end of Trademark. And then I kind of went away for 6 months. I didn't say anything, And I was, in the background, behind the curtain, the wheels were turning, and I was putting together all this new music and kind of getting my new persona together, but I wasn't talking as much, and I think that was kind of surprising for people because I'm always talking on Facebook. I'm talking too much on social media. So, but I think that was effective in a way. Sometimes you have to go away for a while to let people miss you. And then, I came back as Fly Academic, and you're right, it was kind of sudden, but I guess in a way that was my plan. It was sort of, let me keep quiet for a long time, and maybe people will kind of forget about me, and then, oh, wow, he's back. He's doing
new stuff.
And I think for what I was trying to go for, I think it worked. It was kind of like, oh, he's, starting over. He has his new thing, and I gave people enough time to kind of maybe forget about Trademark a little bit, so that when I came back, it was like, oh, we actually kind of missed you, or at least that was my intention. I don't know.
That was
people, depending on whether they like me or not, their mileage may vary.
But at the same time, you have a new sound. Like I was telling people, please check the YouTube out. I think you still got a Facebook of Trademark up with
Definitely,
music on there.
All the Trademark stuff is still out there. If people want to check it out. I mean, I'm not embarrassed of that project.
No. It was a good era. But right now we are about to go into the who you became to evolve. But I want people to see the change. You know what I'm saying? So first you got to tell all the links where Trademark is at, and then we're gonna go ahead and then you're gonna explain to me this new sound that I'm hearing, because there is a new sound. So you're gonna describe this sound to me, but give the link to all the trademarks. Let people go ahead and hear what you were doing.
Yeah, for sure. And like I was saying, Trademark is definitely still out there. I'm not making new material as Trademark, but there's never, I'm never going to delete it. I'm never going to get rid of those videos. That was a very big chapter in my life. So if people want to check it out, definitely the first place to look would be the TradeMarkExperience.com. That was my homepage. And from there, you can link to my Facebook. I mean, just Google search the Trademark Experience. You could also just go to YouTube and search the Trademark Experience. And, all my videos will pop up. And I have, a couple different channels that I was using as Trademark. So there's a lot of content on there. SoundCloud, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. Basically just look for the Trademark Experience on Google or on YouTube, or just go to my homepage, and I'm very easy to find.
All right, so then this new project, I also noticed on your vocals you use a certain effect, because you sent me 2 tracks, and I noticed the effects in both of them. Is that something that, explain that to me quick, fast.
I think what you're referring to is probably that kind of like distorted effect that I had on my vocal on Good Day. Yeah. I mean, that's not like, I'm not going to be using that on every single track.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like that's my, I'm T-Pain and that's my auto-tune. I mean, that's something I'll use selectively. I thought it was cool. I thought it complemented that particular song well, because, the whole theme behind it is kind of like waking up from a very hazy kind of state. And, there's a couple different layers of meaning to it. I mean, literally, I wrote that song about, one night where I woke up from like a particularly out of control, night of drinking, and just realizing like, oh my God, kind of trying to come out of that hangover and realizing that, I can't be living this way anymore.
Yeah.
I'm too old, and I'm supposed to be more mature than this, than to be, going out and getting drunk like I'm still in college. So that's, literally what it was about, was just one particularly bad morning where I woke up, and just was not really, within control of myself. But, for me, the deeper meaning is kind of like, I look at it as, I just feel like, I'm going to get kind of like esoteric here for a second, excuse me, but I feel like as a society, we've become so like desensitized and sort of subdued. I don't know why that is. I don't know if we're all just brainwashed by our computers, or they're putting fluoride in the drinking water or whatever's going on. But we've become very apathetic and like very asleep, I think, in the sense that there's all this craziness going on around us in the world, and I feel like sometimes we're just so involved in ourselves, and we're so just kind of distracted by, Candy Crush or whatever it is that, we're using to like escape reality, that we're asleep. We're asleep as a society. You know what I mean? We're not awake in our conscious mind. And for me,
what?
Good Day is kind of is my attempt to just say like, hey, and I even say this verbatim in the song, that there's a part where I scream like, wake up. And that's kind of what I'm saying to people out there. It's like,
what?
Up,
I wish that
like,
you would have told me that you was gonna get will on me, right? So I could go ahead and like book more time with you. And I'm like, damn, man, I didn't know he was getting this deep. I should have known that when I heard the songs, and just instead of. But we're gonna get to the track, right? Reason why I told everybody, go ahead and check you out as who you were, and the way you talking now and the stuff you put in now, they're gonna see the change. So, introduce Good Day, my man. Let's get it popping.
All right.
And keep it secret, I'ma be here tomorrow. Rip my ticket, skip the lines. I'm waking, lights inside my mind. Rise and shine to the workers and the dreamers. We deserve the world. I already know that I'm worth it. Yeah.
They tried to keep me asleep, but the legend goes on. Wake up, get it going on. Okay, 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 okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Got a feeling it's gonna go my way. Today's gonna be a very good day. Okay, 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 okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Got a feeling it's gonna go my way. Today's gonna be a very good day. Okay, 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 okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Got a feeling it's gonna go my way. Today's gonna be a very good day. Okay, 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 okay. Everything is gonna be okay. Got a feeling it's gonna go my way. Today's gonna be a very good day.
TradeMark. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna call you Tom. I'm just going because I'm dancing right here. Like I'm knocking my head. I'm like, yo, man, this is art right here, man. Like, yeah, man.
Thanks, man.
I like this. I like this. Yo, you on rotation. You know what I mean? Do call in and let's continue talking about the changes and the way you feel. Cause I like what I'm hearing. Cause I myself
Thanks,
is
man.
older,
I appreciate that.
and I feel the same way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and that's kind of what I'm. That's the audience I'm reaching out to. I guess if I had to tell you like what I'm going for or who I'm targeting right now with all of this, I just feel like we're part of that generation that we didn't have. I mean, like kids today, it's crazy.
Man, dude, don't even get into it. Like, listen, don't even get into it. Yeah, don't even get. I want to get to my next interview, and I could be on here with you all night, dude. So don't even get into it. I feel the same way. That's all I'm saying.
I just feel like it was
different.
It was different for us because we didn't have the internet. We didn't have all these different things that it's changed the world. I mean, that's such an understatement. But
that's their era. We had ours. Me, I just tell you the truth. I relate, and I like we doing right now. We don't want to be left behind, but we trying to tell them slow down. That's what we say. Slow down.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's part of it. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, I don't want to sound like a bitter old man, like on the porch either, like yelling at the kids to get off my lawn. But I just feel like part of what's going on is just like I said. We are as a society just so subdued. We're so brainwashed and we're so desensitized to everything that life is going on around us. And I feel like a lot of us, myself included, sometimes we don't even notice because we're just so caught up in our own distractions, and this is me just kind of trying my best to not only tell myself but tell the world, again, verbatim, wake up, like see what's going on around you and don't let life pass you by. Don't spend your life sitting around getting drunk like I was doing for so long, because it's a waste of your time. You could be doing things, you could be productive, you could be pursuing your dreams. So wake up and be somebody, man. Tune in. And if people listen, cool. I mean, I feel like it's kind of on that like Kid Cudi kind of vibe, that song, in terms of like sonically how it sounds, real kind of chill and subdued and like that sing-song style. But so I try to make it catchy. I try to make it so people can enjoy what I'm doing musically, but also if you listen to what I'm saying, I'm actually trying to tell you something. So like please try to at least. If you do listen to my music, I hope you listen to it, not just for the pleasant melodies, but for what I'm saying too. Anyway, so that's that.
Yeah. Then there you go. And I thank you, man. Hopefully we could touch a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. I mean, keep doing what you're doing. I'm so happy that you're back now with the Black Talk Radio and the network.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for a while you were kind of I don't know what was going on, but I didn't see a whole lot. I didn't hear a whole lot from you, so I kind of, in the same way that you were thinking, oh, trademark must be done, I was thinking, oh man, I haven't seen Rooks in a while, so it's good that you're still here doing your thing and playing your part, because
man,
there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of people who who are trying to be heard and need to be heard, and you're giving them an outlet to do that. So keep doing what you're doing, because you play such an important part in the process too.
Well, I'm glad you said that, and I appreciate that. As you tell the truth, I handpick the people that I play. Like, I get a lot of music, and I tell you the truth, my email is flooded. So people sending music, I'm not playing this bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Like, everything I play, if you notice, is either something real catchy, even kind of friendly to without. I kind of stay away from the violence. All that. Yeah, I don't play none of them shits. I mean, if it's good music, I'll rock out with you. You know what I'm saying? And check this out. Like you said, you haven't heard of me for a while. It's not really I've been anywhere, but I've really been, behind the scene. And I like you, I was becoming who I was becoming. And if you go to the website now, you'll see something totally different. And I don't know if you're going to be in the area by November 1st. You should, if you can make it down to Philadelphia, you should come down to our networking event. And the guy that I teamed up, and I watched him grow. You know what I mean? Because I've been working with him when he was 19. Now he's like 28. We up there, and then the youngest person I know who's married, and the way he acts, I'm like, I don't see this anymore. Like, I well respect him. His name is B.N.A. Allen. He got his own squad, and he's doing a management company. So if you're available November 1st, check out the website, man. Come down to the.
I'll let you know, man. I mean, I'm down in Baltimore these days. I mean, that's the only thing that makes it difficult. I'm not really in the Philly area anymore. I moved down here about a year ago. I'm enjoying it. I miss home sometimes, but like I said, it's kind of the whole theme of this conversation, and the Good Day record that you just played. It's kind of funny that it's all kind of dances around the same theme of, like, new beginnings and starting fresh and coming into your own. And I feel like me getting out of Philly and coming down here, in a lot of ways it was good for me, because it gave me that chance to start over. I mean, not that I, was a spectacular screw up and, ruined my life or anything like that, but I was doing a lot of things that I was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been doing. I was living in a way that I should not have been. It was very, I look back now and see the immaturity in myself, and I see kind of the recklessness in myself that I'm trying to, rectify now that I'm a little bit older and wiser. And, like I said, hopefully my music reflects that. And I think Good Day is definitely sort of that symbol of a new beginning and, starting over and hopefully being a little more awake. And I don't mean literally getting out of your bed when the alarm clock rings. I mean actually being consciously awake, having your third eye open, you know what I mean, and seeing what's going on. Because there's a lot of craziness out here that a lot of people just aren't even aware of because they're not paying attention. Pay attention because you're missing out on a lot, and some of the stuff that you're missing out on is kind of shocking. You know what I mean? So people just aren't informed. I guess that's the word I've been looking for this whole time. Just get informed, and just be aware of what's going on around you. And I know you feel what I'm saying, because we're part of that same generation.
I've been saying that from the But
and I guess I hope that what I'm saying is making sense, because I know I'm kind of jumping around a lot. But the reason why I talk about the younger generation and kids today is just because they're coming into a world that is so crazy now, and that maybe you and I and people of our generation didn't have some of these same issues going on because it was a different world. Everything in the past 20 years, I mean, look what's happened. I'm not just talking about the internet. I mean, the entire world is just, we're moving so fast, and that's a good thing in some respects. But like you were kind of alluding to earlier, Rook, sometimes it's better to slow down, because when you move too quickly and you're not looking around, it's like that Ferris Bueller quote, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people out here are missing out because they're not paying attention, and they haven't really been conditioned to pay attention, because everything is just so fast food, and download MP3s to your phone in 5 seconds. It's a whole different world now. Man, everything is just so fast. No one has any patience anymore. No one's been conditioned to. I don't know.
You totally right.
I'm gonna listen back to this interview later and be like, man, I sound so old now.
No. Listen.
I sound like an
Even
old
though,
man.
listen, it's like 26 seconds left. Right? I'm still on the phone just a little bit after that. Even though the time cut off, you're still on the line with me. But I'm gonna tell you this, right? Why you think I'm doing all this? You know what I mean? Like, I want to make a difference, make a chance, and hopefully, stir people the right way. You gotta understand who owns everything, man. It's not. It's profit. At the end of the day, they don't care how you live, who you are, whatever. Once the profit's coming in, that's all it is. I myself, with a company, everybody else, right? It is about profit, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's. Yeah, I guess that's always the way that it's been.
But it's the way you spend it. It's what you do with it. Now, if you take those profits and turn it and make good with it, then you know what I'm saying. You kind of. It's not really. You're helping the purpose, because people know what acting is, because music, everything about it is acting. You know what I'm saying? And I try to explain it to you. Now, of course, you see these kids or whatever is acting what they're hearing. Now, that's just one gender of music. You say you haven't heard of me for a while. What I got is I got the chance to listen to all different type of genders now, and I'm like, wait a minute, hip hop was the center of my world. You know what I mean? Of course, I was disappointed. Sure. Even yourself, the way you sound is like hip hop disappoints you. But that happens to us older people, men who got conscience, and like, what the fuck are you saying? You know what I'm saying? This shit's bullshit. What the hell? You have all these people who died for you, and for you not to do this, and this is what you're doing. It's some bullshit. You know what I mean? So, of course,
I mean, and I agree with what you're saying completely. And I mean, I don't want to sound too hypocritical, because it was only a couple of years ago that I was making music that, at the time.
So was I. I did that too.
Was a reflection of who I was and the person I was trying to be. But I look back on it now, and I look at some of my own music and I say that was bullshit. But that's just the.
That's why I told people listen to you then,
and
then listen to you now. That's how I want them to check both links out and see the growth for you. Now, I myself was making dumb, like, I'm going to get you. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? But then look who's out and look what they're doing. You know what I mean? Look them. And if they really research these particular people that's making all that noise saying, I got gold, I got money. If you check the records, they owe millions of dollars to iOS. They ain't got a fucking dime. You know what I mean? But these kids ain't doing that. They're just watching what they see on the screen. I don't listen to new hip hop though. Like, I tell you the truth, I listen to pure reggae music. I'm letting you know right now. Like, I really don't listen to this shit. Eminem's back, so I just listened to some new joint he dropped, and then I heard some new joint Busta drop. I'm not listening to this bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't blame you.
Right.
You're not missing much. Yeah, you're not. And
I'm cool.
Too,
I hear
it.
It's there, but am I on? Like, for me to turn the radio on, it's like, let me listen. No, I'm not gonna do it. But while I'm around where it's playing, so I'm still on time. Don't get me wrong.
But don't you feel like maybe? I completely agree, because I from my personal perspective, like, I mean, sure, the new stuff that's coming out, it's okay, it's catchy, it's fun to dance to, but no, it's not, the good, what I would consider quality hip hop with a message that was actually saying something that you and I were accustomed to listening to. But maybe that's just. Maybe hip-hop is not for us anymore. And
it's not.
It's not. I feel that way sometimes, that maybe that, hip-hop is for the young people. I mean, that's how it originated. I mean, our parents' generation didn't understand hip-hop, and their parents didn't understand rock and roll. Like, there's always going to be that music for the young generation. And maybe I'm just at that point now where I can listen to what's coming out now and say, oh, that's bullshit. But, that's like
don't
when
say,
my parents...
Listen. I tell you this, right? You almost right. Hip-hop is not for us. I disagree, and then I thought about it. I'm like, I disagree. You know why? Because you're still doing hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? And everybody I played on here is doing hip hop. Just because mainstream is showcasing 5 major artists who's talking bullshit doesn't mean hip hop is not for us. It's just
completely agree. And then I want to clarify. I'm talking about mainstream hip hop. I mean, there's still good hip hop.
No, it's not for us.
It's
based on the younger generation. Just like mainstream hip hop back in the 90s was focusing on us. Because we was going through this bullshit shit we got ourselves into, but now.
But that's what I'm saying. That you're touching on my point exactly. But think about it. Like when we were younger and we were into hip hop or whatever kids were into. I mean, it was hip hop. There was the whole. A lot of kids were out there listening to Marilyn Manson or Nirvana and grunge music or whatever it was, and all of our parents were saying, "Oh, that music is bullshit." Just like when they were kids. Their parents were telling them, "Oh, the Rolling Stones and the Beatles, that's bullshit."
Right.
And probably their parents were telling them, "Oh, that big band swing music, it's bullshit." So it's always
we can't change evolution.
Thing.
It is what it is. It's up to us to teach them like what they're listening is bullshit if they want to listen. But they're not going to, just like we didn't. You can't change evolution. Like, this is what it is, man. History repeats itself, yo. Now, the only difference is what's happening right now is we're destroying ourselves with bigger and more technology. Back then, it was straight face-to-face. Now, we could be miles away and destroy the whole society. You know what I'm saying? So, it's nothing new happening, dude. The only thing is the game got more dangerous. It's the same...
And that's the point, I think this is where I can step back inside of myself and say, well, once you look past all that generational stuff, I mean, there's only so much you can say about the Beatles. There's only so much you can say about, I mean, like even hip hop when we were younger. I mean, granted, I'm sure there were things that were a little questionable or objectionable, but I feel like what's coming out now is just so reckless and so dangerous for young people.
Yeah,
I heard this one song that was just nonsensical. I mean, it was telling kids to, go steal your parents' credit card and take your stepdad's credit card and jump in the car and steal his car and drive circles in the parking lot. Like, I mean, I'm sorry.
Again, you're thinking of mainstream. Now, remember
I am
this.
thinking of mainstream, but I'm saying even
but you also
were
gotta
younger
remember
and listening
this,
to
right?
mainstream hip-hop,
Look where you at,
that
right? Yeah, but look where you
ignorant.
at. We in the East Side. Yeah. Now, if you remember what happened to hip hop, like I'm glad, like I'm finished. So people who's gonna listen to this out there and go back, damn, they was getting in. Check this out. Hip hop in the East, we were doing our thing. We kept it. We kept it violent, free, struggle, and everything, and we explained our life, Nas, Tupac, before he got with Death Row and did that shit, then he was trying to come back, you know what I mean? Biggie went to shit, you know what I mean? Everything he was saying, like, even Think Crack Amendment was a message, because I was living in the era of crack, you know what I'm saying? And he was telling you, don't do this shit. And keep this shit out your neighborhood.
Well, I mean, sometimes he was, and sometimes he was glorifying it.
You have to listen. Not really. You gotta listen deep. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. The shit he said is true. It's nothing fake about it. I was there. I lived 4 blocks away from him. Remember, I'm 36. You know what I mean? Like, I was real young. So he was in I was in Crown Heights. He was in Bushwick or something like that. Yeah. And that's only like 15 minutes away. So I'm in and out. Even Tupac is from New York. Everybody don't know that. They think I'm like, no, he's from New York.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I do know that.
Like he moved to Connecticut, then he went down there, but up there actually. But he was born in New York.
Yeah,
nobody knows those, but these kids are just listening to what the main. And then again, we gotta also remember it's money that's moving it. So profit is profit. It doesn't matter if you destroy people as long as the money's coming in. That's all they care about. But that's only 5 different artists. But that's from the South, though. We did not talk like that. Now everybody's taking up the habit because it was the East, the West. Now it's down the South. I always thought it was going to come back to us, but it just stayed there. Soon it hit 2002, 2004, it never came back.
It never came back, but I also don't know. I mean, you know, with all due respect, I don't know if it necessarily stayed in the South either. I think what happened. Well,
I
yes
think
and
it
no.
did because
I think what
it's all about
now
booty shaking, fuck this bitch, fuck this nigga.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's still all that. I mean,
yeah,
you can
but we wasn't
doing
that. We was talking about, you know, love your fellow brothers and, you know what I mean, do good.
Well, we were.
This is not the way.
But the East Coast was also, yeah, that's true. But I'm saying you have to look at the other side of it too. That a lot of East Coast hip hop was violent, and it was about, you know, drug dealing and you know.
Yeah, but the videos like Wu-Tang. Yeah, but check Wu-Tang and all of them, the videos and all that. It's my era. Like me personally, how come I'm not, like, I didn't see violence when I watched it. I was like, man, this is hard. You know what I mean? Because they were minutes away from me. They was in project. I even go as back as Boot Camp Clip. You know what I mean? I used to see them walk up and down my neighborhood. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
Buckshot
and all way back. You're going way back, too. I mean, definitely.
That's how back I'm going. Yeah, but seeing the look, okay, Biggie kind of took it a little far. And you know what I mean, with Tupac and all that, but then that's the mainstream thing. But if you listen to the whole album, most of the shit on there is real touching. But you gotta understand, you gotta put out a single, and you gotta put out what people want to hear. So it's violence. People love violence. So you put it just got out of hand.
Yeah, of course it did, and like you said, it ties into, you know, the whole gangster rap thing became profitable.
Yeah,
and then
but then it went down south, and then now it's gangster pimping, fuck your. Then it just went berserk. They just went berserk.
Don't you think they did? But don't you think that, you know, it's kind of like what you were saying. It was from the East Coast then to the West Coast, and it went down south, and you thought it would come back. But don't you think that it's so much bigger than just regional, like, territories now? Don't you think that maybe what really happened is it went from the West Coast down south, and now it's universal? Thanks to the internet.
No, down south is universal.
Well,
down
I mean,
south is universal
the south
because we listen to the beat tempo. We up east use 90 tempo. That's what we always use. You know what I mean? So it went down south, then it was 120. I'm a producer my damn self. I seen the change. Now nobody wants to make a 90 beat. It's in the album, but it's never featured as
everything
a single.
Has to be danceable, and you know, I tell you what though, if anything, it's going back. If anything, if you want to talk in terms of like the different regions, it's going back to the West Coast, because that Bay Area sound right now is. I mean, I know you said you don't listen to like current hip hop anymore, so like, you know, let me like tell you what's going on, because every song I hear now is DJ Mustard. And, you know, all these guys out of Oakland and, you know, the San Francisco Bay Area, those guys, that's where it is right now. I don't even think, I mean, the South is still doing their thing, you know, but really what's dominating the radio right now, the same way that, like, Southern hip-hop and crunk music was dominating 10 years ago, right now it's that Bay Area. It's San Francisco, it's Oakland, California. It's all these guys coming out of Tyga, it's Sage, Gemini, all those guys.
With the South sound. That's what it is. The beats are 120, 180. Nobody's making 90 beats. Like, dude, I love sitting there knocking my head. Like, yeah. Now, you know, you got to do all that nut-ass shit, the death drop. What the fuck is a death drop? I'm just like, I mean, I don't want to get in trouble. These funny boys, you know what I mean, death dropping. And they look, I'm like, y'all some funny boys. All right, let me let that go, because I hear you getting in trouble for saying the wrong word these days. You know what I mean? So I won't. What else is there? The Smurr murder. I'm like, this been now since the beginning of time. Why are you naming it after? Because he did it in a video. It's a 1-2 step. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, well, you know, what's old is new again. I mean, that's all. Yeah, but they changed the name and they're like, this some gangster shit. No, it's not. Your grandmother did that dance, boy. You know what I mean? Like, she invaded it. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Man. I mean, it's silly, but that's it's all good. Again, that's just the mainstream. I mean, you know, we spend so much time talking about what's going on in the mainstream and on the radio. Who cares, man? I mean, that's the, you know. There you go. I'm glad you said that. All this time that I'm sitting here, like, saying, oh, things are different now and the internet ruined the world and blah-blah-blah. On the one hand, it did. On the other hand, it's made it that you don't need to rely on the radio anymore. I barely listen to my FM radio anymore. I listen to the artists that I want to listen to. The internet destroyed business, man. That's what it did. The internet destroyed life. You know what I mean?
It killed the
everything.
music industry for indie artists, but it also
not really. You have to play. You have look. Let's be real. You're an artist, right? And I always say this: when you're doing that these days, like you said, you got a little older. I got a little older, and I got a little wiser in business too. People follow a certain act, brand, or anything, right? So you saying it killed it? No, it killed it because you had the stupid motherfuckers putting stupid shit up, shit that record with a fucking pen and it's just like, come on, man, put some money into your work. Like, don't put shit out.
I'm not saying flat out that it killed it. I mean, that was the first half of what I was going to say. It killed the music industry. It killed the business. But what it did,
it kills the millionaires. But the music industry is still here. If it was killed, then everybody wouldn't want to get into it. Everybody wants to be into it. The music industry is what it is.
But what I'm trying to say is, do you know how much easier it was to get a record deal 15 years ago as an indie artist? See,
it was
the difference
easy.
Is, it was
but
easy.
It also was, everybody back then was different. Like, you had De La Soul, you have KRS-One. But listen to everybody's sound that had a record deal back then. Nobody sound the same. Tribe Called Quest. Listen to their sound. It's just like, if you buy an album and you buy another album, you have two different worlds in your hands. The problem now is everybody's imitating mainstream, and they all sound the same. So it's hard to get a record deal because that's not talent. You are an imposter. You're trying to be somebody.
I hear you.
You know,
we're saying the same thing. Like that's the entire point that I was eventually getting to. And I know sometimes I beat around the bush and I go on these tangents. But what I'm ultimately trying to say is that it killed the industry because it made it that these guys, these record executives, these labels got really nervous because they weren't making money anymore because the internet killed it. Napster killed it. All these illegal downloading sites. You never had this stuff back in the era of De La Soul and Tribe Called Quest and all that. So you were able to have all these different artists, these different sounds, and you could appeal to these different audiences. But once these guys stopped making money, they panicked and they went to the lowest common denominator, and they went to, what we're talking about, this garbage, mainstream, violent, overly sexualized hip-hop because it sells, and everything else kind of went by the wayside. And that's why mainstream hip-hop is where it is. But the beauty of the internet is that it has allowed for artists like, myself, like yourself, like people who are, consciously trying to do something different and to, be an alternative. It's given them an avenue where you can put a video on YouTube and get 100,000 views, and you don't need a record label to do it.
Listen,
it's harder to get noticed,
you don't need a record label, period,
possible
dude.
to do your thing.
The
you don't need it at all.
The problem is, nobody's putting money into them. They expect somebody else to do it for them. Everybody wants to get signed. They do not understand this. By yourself, you'll make way more. Now, we brought up De La Soul and all of them.
There's potential.
But listen,
by yourself.
Yeah, but listen to that.
It's easier with a label.
No, dude. Listen, I did my research. It's really easier to do, not by yourself. It's easier to have your own team working to get.
Yes.
Now, the problem with these executives, record labels. Now, here's the thing people don't understand back then, though. You got the De La Souls and all of them. But listen, do you know Busta Rhymes, when he was with the New School and everything, when he was coming out even by himself, when he did do you know he worked in the supermarket? The guy wasn't making any money, but he was mainstream, banging it out. See, people do, that's what I'm saying. I read, I do research, and I know what's going on. Now, listen, why he wasn't making any money? Because now you see, here's what you said. Yeah, the record labels got nervous. That's a good thing, because now, it's just like, go away, everybody. People ain't going to listen to bullshit. Me, I hear bullshit, boom. But if I hear something good, I'm going to follow it. And if I get a chance to go, look, dude, I was listening to Indian music the other day, and I was just, like, amazed, and I'm following this person. Like, I'll go to a next show. I'll pay the $30. You know what I mean? Because it's good. He dancing. He's doing his thing. He's a full-round performer. See, that's the thing. These dudes, the young boys, they want to be gangster, thinking like, yeah, man, I'm a real G showing money. But you're not a performer, bruh. Like, I have nothing to want to watch you walk around with your pants down showing your ass with holes in your fucking underwear. Like, I don't want to see that. I don't understand that shit. You know what I mean? And I've seen that many fucking times. You know what I mean?
And that's
But
and
listen,
that's
but
great.
let me finish. There I saw in all of them, none of them were getting rich. See, people getting rich out of fucking singles. That's what's fucking up the industry. They drop a single, everybody's into it. The stupid, like, hot nigga, like, no disrespect. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm done. Like, I was like, it's not even 16. The concept of a song is not even there. It's just straight run. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. No one makes albums
and then
anymore. It's
you
all
pay,
singles. They're
y'all
all
paying
bullshit.
for a 2 minute 45 second of straight. You know what I mean, take your fucking out, and then doing a dance that your grandmother was doing, and you think is new. You stupid.
But do you know why that's happening, Rooks? And this is why I was going to jump in before, because you're going to seek out what, good music, quality music with a message, socially conscious, et cetera, because you're an intelligent, enlightened cat, and that's what you're looking for. But a lot of these guys, and this is, again, I'm going to go back to my original point that, like, especially the younger generation who, were sort of born into this craziness when things were already starting to turn, they have not been sort of conditioned to look for good music. They have not been conditioned to want anything more than what they're hearing on the radio, because it's just such a fast food economy now. And when we were younger, we had such a variety. We had so many different options. We played outside. Who does that anymore? You know what I mean? It was just like, it was a different time, and we were looking for different things because of, the experiences that we had, and, we were fortunate enough, guys like you and me, to have that sort of enlightened view on things, to say, well, I don't really like what's going on right now, so I'm going to go to the local record store, I'm going to dig through the crates and find something that I want to listen to. But there are no record stores anymore. There are no, it's just like, on the one hand, you have so many options now because of the internet, but a lot of people don't even use those resources because they are just into what they're being told to listen to.
That's what I said.
Again,
the internet destroyed businesses.
We're
like, there's no record
subdued,
stores no more.
We're very
there's none of that.
now. We're very brainwashed now. This is exactly what Good Day is about.
Listen, you know what's so messed up? There's nothing it's funny, and I don't mean to say that. A lot of people be like, yo, we should make a difference. Like, I'm going to be real. There's nothing you could do. Like I said, you can't stop evolution.
Well, don't say that. You can make a difference in your own way. I mean,
my
you might
man,
not make a global
listen, Malcolm X died for it. Nothing happened. Martin Luther King died for it. Look at them, man. Like, nothing happened. Nothing freaking happened. It's just there's no security. There's no nothing. Now, listen. At the same time I'm saying that, there's still a group of us that's still out there. There's still a group of young men, young women that's being raised the right way. Mainstream is mainstream. Mainstream doesn't mean majority. You understand what I'm saying? I got a chance while you're here to hear other music and be around other people who's like, I don't listen to that either, and they're way younger than me. So mainstream doesn't mean majority. This is why when we were talking earlier, I was like, they are broke. But because of media, they make it seem like it's majority because it's in the media. But we watching the media is like, this is some bullshit. How many of us you think is saying that? But because they don't expose us.
I don't know. I mean, I also don't. It's. I mean, listen. It's not black and white either. I mean, I listen.
It's
to
not.
mainstream
But it's also
stuff.
not. Don't think mainstream.
I listen to club music and I listen to some of that like nonsensical radio hip hop. But the difference is, I listen to it. For whatever reason, it's catchy, or I like that hook, or whatever.
So do I.
But I don't.
If I
I'm
listen
not
to
getting.
hip hop
I'm not getting my morals, and I'm not. I'm a grown person who I already have my sense of the world. I know right from wrong. I know bullshit from the real. But if you're a younger person who doesn't know the difference between those things, that's where it's really dangerous.
So then now let's get to the topic, the bottom of it. Why are we even talking about hip-hop and all that and blaming people who's doing what they're doing to make their money? Whose job is it to teach your kid? If you let...
That's a complicated question.
You see what I'm saying? If you letting them get their education from what they're hearing, like I heard a 6-year-old kid recite the whole song to Hot Nigga, and I was like, do you know what's 5 times 5?
It's scary.
Probably, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's what's up. So that's what I'm saying.
And I'm with you. I'm not saying
we had a long conversation, and
parents,
it's good to have. And I'm glad that people got to hear that. Like, you never know what you're gonna hear from Hustlas Build. My boy got on, and now, you know what I mean. Like I said, we are social media friends, and this is how we talk on Facebook and all that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let it run. So we behind the scenes. So when we done,
I thought it was.
No, we're not. We're not. But
okay.
we're not. We're not. But listen. But when we hang up, it's all going to play.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to ask you about that too, because I would love, with your permission, of course, because I want people to hear
you could download it. Just go on my website and then click on it and go download it, and then let everybody hear it. Remember what I'm saying? We just had this long conversation, and we blaming this, we blaming this, we blaming that. That's what me and you's doing. I'm doing it, you doing it. But let's be real. It's just entertainment. Movies do even worse. Now, we sitting here and we blaming all this on hip-hop because it's mainstream, but that because we are educated. We know right from wrong, like you said. It's not their fault that these kids is doing that, because guess what? It has that label on it, right? It's up to their parents for them not to buy it. So we can't judge. We mad at them for putting bullshit out because we want to buy some real shit. That's true. But at the same time, if we listen to it, we're like, I like the hook. Cool. We all understand. But these younger people is buying it, and stores is sending it to them when it has that shit on it. It's not us. It's money. It's the business.
Well, that's exactly my point, is that, we can listen to geez, I don't want to pick any one particular example, but we could listen to a DJ, Chris Brown or a Tyga song, or one of these club songs, and appreciate it for, maybe it's musically pleasing, and that's why we can listen to it, because I'm not going to sit here in front like I don't listen to mainstream hip-hop. I do. I have a blog at flyacademics.com where I post, catchy music that I'm listening to, and it may not have the best socially conscious message, but I'm not necessarily looking for that every time I listen to music.
Yes.
Sometimes, like you said, I just want to be entertained. I just want some, catchy, zone-out stuff.
Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? Because, when I have my shots, I want to listen to some bullshit too. When I'm in the club, I want to listen to some bullshit too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I want to dance. I want to party. So that's
someone said that a couple years ago. I don't want to hear Talib Kweli in the club. And there's an argument to that. But what I'm saying is, we, again, I don't want to make the same point over and over again. But we can listen to a certain song and have one interpretation of it, and maybe we know enough not to pay attention to what they're saying because whatever, we don't agree with it, or it's bullshit or whatever. But if you don't know any better and you're listening to this stuff and you're kind of absorbing these messages, and some of these songs are so subliminal now, and the imagery is so subliminal, and you're not paying attention. And when you're a young person your brain is still forming, that's a very dangerous thing.
Well,
it's a very dangerous thing.
It's up to their parents. It really is.
And that's all I'm trying to say. And listen, I'm not the perfect artist either. I mean, certainly I've made music that, I've, whether intentionally or not, have probably glorified, drinking and partying and drugs.
I know I did.
Yeah, I mean, we're all guilty of it. I'm not saying that I don't claim to be a role model.
But the only thing I did, and I still will. And I still will. You know why? I like a drink or two, but I'm a grown-ass goddamn man. You know what I'm saying? I could like a drink or two. My music is not for kids. If you let your kid listen to my music, that's on you.
But see, I'm at the point now where I want to make, I don't know if I'm quite there yet, but I want to make music that your kids could listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not trying to be a role model. I'm not trying to be a hero, but I want to make music that, on the whole, is positive and it does not endorse some of these negative things. That's where I'm trying to go. And that was the question you asked me 45 minutes ago. What are you trying to do with this Fly Academics thing?
Which is cool. That's what I'm saying.
That's
the thing. With your music, even with my music, when you hear, I talk about You know what I mean? I'm grown, but I don't glorify, and I won't hesitate to tell you, yo, I did this, or I'm still doing that. But I'm telling you what would happen if this happened. Like you said, music to you and to me is more like, you know, telling a story. Music, mainstream music is none of that. Me personally, a lot of people like me, and you know what I mean. I like, you know what I mean, Slick Rick and all that. This, like, yo, still the best album I ever fucking bought. You know what I mean? Bedtime Story, still like every song on
the art
there
of storytelling,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, you'll never hear stuff like that anymore. Not in the mainstream.
Oh my
Just because
God.
the culture has
you know
changed.
What I mean?
People don't have the attention span.
But it's not for them. If they want to hear it, they could go ahead and do that on their own. But that type of music is for me. It's my music. You go ahead and listen to this bullshit. I listen to that. You show your ass. I don't. But doesn't mean I'm not in touch. And the fact that these young kids think like us older people are some kind of, you know, punks, bitch, whatever they want to call it, and you like, wow, you know what I mean? I stay away because I don't think you could handle what I got. Or maybe you even faster, but I don't believe in violence, so I'm cool. You understand? It's just like, I'm
of course.
cool,
No,
man.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying. You know, would a young kid understand the difference? Who knows?
But the fact that they don't,
I
stay away.
Questions. Well, yeah, and you're not making music for kids. See, that's the scary thing to me, is that, you know, you and I, we have different ideas about what we're trying to do. And I even told you earlier, back when we were still on the air, I'm trying to make music for people of my generation, for grown people who can understand the concepts that I'm talking about. But you know, some of these pop stars, and it's not just hip-hop, you're looking at Rihanna and Miley Cyrus and all these other, you know, pop stars who are making music specifically for 12-year-old girls. And they're telling them, go to the club and, you know.
But it's not their fault.
I don't even know some of the nonsense.
It's a label. Their name is owned. It's the same labels.
I'm a bad
it's the
girl,
same labels
like
you saying.
Put your
but
ass
guess what?
in the
You know
air
who's making them do that? The same labels you singing or scared. They're actually making more money now than they ever was making because of these one-hit singles, because they hitting these kids. You understand? See, that's what
I do understand. But you know what?
Listen, we can't keep talking about this, man. We gon' like, I agree with you, and then the more we talk, the more vision is coming in, and I'm like, wait a minute. The reason they're doing that is because of these fucking labels.
But you know what though? I don't buy that. And again, with all due respect, I don't think
the labels won't play it because listen, if they pull out, there's a lot of songs that don't make people albums because it's like, nah, man, ain't nobody gonna listen to that.
No, that I agree with, but you can't make somebody do something that they don't want to do. Because I'm sorry.
If you want to make money, you better. If not, what happens if you get shelved? Exactly. It's all about money. If you want to make money, you better put it out, or you ain't making money this year.
I agree, but at what cost? Because I'm telling you right now, Rooks, and I hope
as long as it ain't them, they don't care. As long as it ain't them.
I hope one day that a record label comes and brings a truckload of money to my door so I can actually validate this and prove myself. But, you know, if someone said, hey, we're going to pay you $1 million record contract, but we want you to promote, tell kids to smoke cigarettes and, you know, steal their dad's credit card, you know what? I would say take the money and go somewhere else. But
guess
that's
what?
Me.
Guess what's the thing I learned the hard way? You're replaceable. If you don't do it, somebody will.
Well, sure, but let someone else do it. But that's where I'm talking about personal integrity. Is that
but what's the value?
These people are so starved for money and fame and attention that they'll do these things either because A, they're not intelligent or awake enough to realize the damage they're doing, or B,
or maybe they are.
Or they are and they know exactly what they're doing and they're just business people. And you know what? Just do what you want to do and make your money. But I'm saying I'm not that way. And to say that the record label is making someone do that, all they can do is make you the offer. And, you know, all these pop stars and these big-name hip-hop artists, they have the choice to say, no, I'm not going to do that. But they do it because they're after the money. It's all about the money. Like you said.
It's not even all about the money.
You know what I mean? Maybe in a way. In a way.
Yeah,
in a
they
way.
kind of are.
But,
because listen,
well,
you can make if you sign to a label.
They could walk away anytime.
Listen, just like Mace. If you remember Mace, he signed to Bad Boy. He's doing all that shiny shit. But before Bad Boy, his name was Killer Mace. A lot of people don't know that.
He's part of the Children of the Corn.
he was spitting that
Children
shit. But soon he got signed to Bad Boy, and then here comes the stupid flow, the slow flow, whatever you want to call it. No, Fabulous got the slow flow. He got the stupid flow. Like, but that's what Puffy made him do. Now, look how crazy he went, like last year or 2 years ago. I don't know how long it is. He actually surprised Puffy, like, yo, you better sign, yo, let me free, bruh.
Yeah.
The label, it's contract. You sign your name on the dotted line, you are a bond to this.
Yeah,
you better read every freaking word.
That's a perfect example. Mace walked away from it.
No, he didn't walk away from it. He was hungry.
Why he did that?
Puffy let him go because he surprised Puffy in a radio show, and Puffy did not want to look like a dickhead. And plus, not only that, 50 was involved because 50 wanted Mace. Remember, he was mixing with 50 for a while.
Oh, I know.
So Puffy signed it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Puffy signed it off because Puffy was sidetracked, but nothing happened. Mace just wanted out.
That's funny.
Yo, why you think he became a preacher? Because he could not rap. Because Puffy shelved you. Look what happened to fucking Elliot Ness. Come on, we see it all. You get shelved, man. Once you sign this contract, you're under contract for 5 years. Guess what? You cannot make music for 5 years. You're shelved.
Yeah, where's whatever happened to Loon and Mario Winans? Remember that whole Bad Boy roster from like 10 years ago?
He fucked them all up.
Not a single one of them.
That's why he ain't got no fucking roster. That's why he don't got no roster. Because guess what? He got everybody under management though. Now everybody's shitting on Puffy. Oh, Puffy ain't making no music. But Rick Ross, Puffy management. Even Jay-Z.
Oh, I know.
Puffy management.
He's got Meek Mills too, from what I understand.
Yeah. Jay-Z just picked up fucking what's his name? The boy, Big Sean. Yeah, man. You know what? Let's get off the phone, man. We could talk forever. But, yo, Hustlers Build,
I was about to say the same thing,
Network
man.
ENT, that's my boy right here, Tom.
Thank you, man. I appreciate being on, and even though that we're not on the air anymore, it was,
we will be. Listen, I got more people listening to me during the week than they do live. Doing live is, a couple of hundred, but during the week is thousands. Like, this is the first show that it's run all the way for 2 hours, and I'm just talking to one person. I even had another interview to do. I'm just going to be like, yo, we'll do it next week, bro. I apologize, but this is serious.
Sorry. I didn't realize you had
No. That's the beauty with Hustlers,
but
every now and then something like this happens. And you see, I kept talking with you because I want people to hear, like, yo,
Brooks,
I'm not talking.
This happens every time I come on your show. I talk you to death, and then, it's like an hour later, and you're like, yo, I got to go. I can't even keep you on the line anymore. I have, personal obligations. You need to hang up and go find something else to do. This happens every time. But I do, for whoever was supposed to be on next, I apologize for taking all your airtime. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation.
Cool. Listen, it's better for me that way because I got another interview. Do you know like with these shows, I really have to, I have to pick the artists. I have to listen. I already got one. All I got to do is listen to two. So I got to go through all these songs on my email. I'll probably go through 30 before I pick one. Like, oh, this is okay. You know what I mean? Oh, this is good. I get all type of, and then, I'm trying to expand, doing pop, house, electronic, but all I'm getting is a bunch of rappers, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, shout out to all the, but it's like,
right,
goddamn.
Wrong with that. Yeah.
But it's goddamn. You know what I mean? I'm a radio show. I'm not limited to hip hop. I like music.
I feel you.
So everybody, please submit.
That's why I like a lot of my music. Even the stuff that I'm doing now, it's not just straight hip hop anymore. I mean, Good Day, I think there's a 16-bar rap verse, but the rest of it is like an electronic song.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to incorporate different elements into what I'm doing too. But like I said, I'm talking you to death. I know you have to go. I probably have to get going too. But Brooks, it was a pleasure talking to you as always. I love being on your show. I love the conversations that we have. Definitely, I would love to come back on. Another time. I have my album I'm putting together right now, just like a shameless plug right now. Misfit Toy, it's called. That's a title I think you would dig. I'm kind of referring to myself being completely out of place in the current hip-hop landscape. But maybe when that album is closer to being finished, I would love to come back on and do like a part 2 with you. But, we'll talk.
I'm going to give you the whole hour. I'm just going to give you the whole hour next time.
here's the thing. You gave me a half hour, and I took an hour. So if you give me an hour, I might take up like 3 hours of your time. So just be careful, because I never shut up. But no, it was a pleasure being on. Thank you for having me. And I know how selective you are with your music. So the fact that you played my record, that means a lot to me. If I'm around for that networking event, I'll try to make it up. I'll let you know. But definitely we'll. I think it's after 5 years of being social media friends, we definitely should meet up in the real world at some point. It's about time at this point.
Pretty much.
But yeah, so I'll let you know about all that. But yeah, man, I got to run. Thank you again for having me on. Hustlas Build Radio. You guys have been holding it down for me for 5 years now, so I appreciate that.
Awesome. All right, man. You have a good evening.
Same to you, man. Take care.
Take care. Hustlers Bill, we are out 6:30. That's a couple more hours. Yo, man, that's what I'm saying, man. We love this, man. Tune in next week. You never know what's going to happen. The Network ENT. That's the-network-ENT.com. Check us out. We out.